I want to start with point one, which is when you want to send something to a competition, one thing, it should actually fit the criteria, and this one is short stories, so it should be a short story. It means it should cover something and end within the parameter of the number of characters. It shouldn't be like a ... scenario in which you think, oh, that's just chapter one of a story, and it just leaves so much open. It doesn't mean that you should have, or you shouldn't have things that that are kind of mentioned and not solved, because a lot of things do that, and we accept it. And another thing is it should be ready, from a language perspective. There's a lot of things that you could do for that. You could just join some international forum, post it, and then get some comments. You know, you don't have to think about paying someone or something like that if you don't have the money. It's not about money. So those definitely 2 points. Have it checked by people before it's sent in, and make sure that it fits the criteria. Therefore, there was lots of stories that I gave low points because they were just bad from translating or something like that, and it was just frustrating to read, to the point where you kind of get lost in the story a lot because you kind of don't know what they wanted to say, and you're imagining what you think they were trying to say, as well as following the line that they have got on paper. For instance, there was one which was quite well written, and you can't really picture when, where, how the situation in which the story is set in kind of came about. So it's obviously very, very detached, and they're kind of in this bubble, and it brings in lots of different things, like there is some zombies in there, and they're talking about magicians, and there's all kinds of strands in there, and it was put in a quite well way, actually. So of course you can like bring in lots of things that have been done, but do it in a kind of fresh way, which does help a lot. Because I know there is a problem with, like, what do I write a story about? Everything's been written already. Yeah, but you can kind of bring them in a different way. So that's what I liked about some of them, where they talked about points that has already been covered in other literature, but it had a new perspective. Well, I didn't actually give one of them marks, so it was an outright winner for me. There were two in which I gave the highest, and I would be hard pressed to pick a winner. There wasn't one that shouted at me and said like, "Oh, this is it," or something like that. So one which was the story started, and it started very slowly, and then all of a sudden it was extremely crazy and lots of things happening, and then the main character of the story is then detached from the world that had just been created into a new one, and set out already the kind of existence that would be in that kind of slightly future path there. And it was kind of complete in a way, I thought, and it did well with the criteria that was set for a short story competition. So, and it was a good read as well. So whoever they got to translate it, whether it was them or somebody else, I could say that they did quite well. That was another problem where things were just missing. Like, I don't know, maybe a lot of people had it translated by friends or they paid someone, but the thing is, when you pay with something, like a translation or a proofread, they have to be good. They have to be good, otherwise it's not worth it. From 23, they were probably like about 6 or 7, which did it justice, and the rest was more like a mess. Yeah, so I know it's the first year of the competition, so you never know what you're going to get. You're going to get a mixed bag, and hopefully each of the judges give the incoherent ones low marks, so that it can show to the person that they should maybe pay more attention to that in the future. like I said, also with the international forum, you could just post it and be like, oh, what do you think of this? And then you can get like a very brutal, judge from complete strangers all over the world. And this would be a very good idea for a lot of people who are looking to translate stories into English and know whether what they've got is worth it or not. Even some of the ones that were badly translated, I did at points feel that actually there, in the sentences, there are some good kind of descriptive ways of changing your outlook on what is happening slightly, and adding some kind of flesh to it, talking about how the wind was blowing as an example. So although some of them were in a bit of a mess grammatically and language-wise, I'm not saying that those stories were bad, and that's probably why I gave them a bad mark, was just because it needed to be better to be put into competition. Because I know, like for the Slovak competition, people are probably writing, stopping, except for those who send it in at the last minute, of course. They're writing it, rewriting it, and maybe even rewriting it a third time, so that they are really happy with it. And that is what should be done also in the English competition, hopefully, in the future.